We've all been there. Dribbling the ball down the field. Waiting for that juicy pass. Or maybe just going up to make a save. In fact, sometimes it feels like the only place you're really safe is up on the ceiling. There's lots of ways you could describe these plays. Dirty, cheap, unskilled, unsportsmanlike. But you'd be wrong. Today, we're going to talk about how your attitude about demolitions, or even your ability to understand, use, and just plain avoid them, might be one of the biggest reasons why you suck at Rocket League. Today, with the help of our own infamous Rocket Sledge, a champion-ranked player with over 23,000 demolitions, we're going to fully explore this often controversial topic. And to start with, we can replace all those common complaints with just one description: game mechanic. Tell us what that means, Sledge.
Being an intended game mechanic means there's programmed rules for how a demolition works, and no rules for how you use it. So no, you cannot get banned for using demolitions, no matter how many you go for. Up until now, even I remain ban-free.
Oh man, that's really a shame, isn't it? Now with the removal from play and the 3-second respawn, it can seem like demolitions are different from other game mechanics, but this really isn't the case. Some may lament the RNG of the spawn locations, but trust me, you don't want a guy like Sledge being able to predict where you're going to be spawning anyway. As a game mechanic, demolitions are actually fairly balanced. Yes, you are removed from play, but you do respawn back on the defensive side of the field, with 33 boost. And because demolition plays happen at high speed, misses or dodges will put the attacker out of position and benefit the other team. Really, demolitions are a high-risk, high-reward mechanic. Truthfully, it's much easier to dodge a demo attempt than it is to make a successful one. Also, like any mechanic, there's a right and wrong time to use them. Any player that chases hard for demos should be easy to beat. Yes, they may blow you up, but their disregard for the ball and rotation should give your team easy goals. If not, then they're using the mechanic to win, and you don't really have a reason to complain. Finally, you will sometimes hear people complain about demolitions being broken or changed by some update. It is true that there have been issues with this mechanic in the past, but the last major patch of demolitions was actually back in October of 2017, which fixed something that some refer to as Easy Demo Month. Sledge himself even posted about this needed adjustment. Since then, there haven't been any other changes, and to quote Sledge, demos have never been in a better place. And really, if there was a problem with them, this guy would know. Most demolition fail complaints can be blamed on one out of three things: not understanding the mechanics that cause a demolition, ping or server issues, and client-side prediction corrections. So yes, demolitions are an intended game mechanic. But should you consider them skillful? Now that's something that must get you going, huh, Sledge? When people say it takes no skill to demo someone.
Well, not as much as getting called out for having one of the worst playstyles in Rocket League.
Number 5 is one that's sure to piss off my friend Rocket Sledge.
Oh, well,
champion of this playstyle.
Look, this probably isn't the best time to talk about this.
Fine, but this isn't over.
Demos player.
Okay, so I'm not saying I'm the best at it or the only one that does it, but making consistent, useful demolition plays, especially at higher levels, it's not easy. If it was easy to do effectively, more people would be using it. But instead, some resort to complaining that to demo is playing the game wrong. This is partly because they've seen it's a mechanic that punishes severely if you miss or do it wrong. Also, those players might be lacking other major fundamentals that are required to make effective demolitions, such as rotation and situational awareness. Now I've commented and talked about the demolition skill argument many times in the past, but this time I'm going to let Rocket League streamer and commentator Johnny Boy spell it out for you.
And I want to shut all that conversation down right here, right now. Demos take skill. They're a legitimate strategy. If you are someone in Rocket League who complains about demos, then you need to reconsider what game you're playing, because it's just part of the game, and it's a very skill-based part of the game. If you think that hitting the ball takes more skill than hitting a demo, then you're wrong. The ball's got no mind of its own. Cars do, because usually they're being driven by somebody with at least a little bit of intelligence. They're trying to dodge you. The ball just moves around as it's hit.
So first of all, just getting the demo itself requires some skill. And then we can add to that the skill and decision-making abilities to go for demos at the right time. So no, Sunless, I'm not the infamous demo guy. When you're ready to do a video about the best playstyles in Rocket League, maybe you want to think about me again.
Alright, Sledge is starting to get a little delusional clearly, so let's give him a minute to cool off while we make a little skill comparison. Now, most consider a fake to be a skillful play, but when you think about it, a fake is doing absolutely nothing, having the opponent fly past and then rolling the ball into the open net. Much like a demolition on a goalie, the opponent has almost no chance to recover, and you don't need to beat anyone with your shot. So it begs the question, how can one be considered skillful and the other not? So, as a final test for you doubters, I'm bringing back the Suck Less Challenge. Remember that? Sledge and I challenge you to try some demolition plays. Now, really, anyone can run around and get a few demos. What we're talking about is meaningful physical plays, ones that help your team and don't end up with you getting scored on. You may find this harder than you expect, but don't worry, there are resources out there that can help you. But first, let's talk about the continuing demolition meta in Rocket League.
Of all the chat reactions I've seen, I think this one sums up the common outlook of a lot of players, and basically the reason we're making this video. Now you may be thinking to yourself, wow, Sledge really wants to be relevant.
We get it, Sledge. You like demos.
There it is. But I'm actually trying to help. It is restricting as a player to limit yourself with made-up rules about what is skilled or acceptable play. Also, that mindset is setting you up to be easily tilted when your opponent doesn't follow your view of a fair or skilled game. Now, I don't like to throw around the term meta like Sunless.
Dude, you wrote the script. I just said what you wrote.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to be talking right now. But it is true that as the game has matured, we're starting to see demolition and bump plays become more common in high-level Rocket League. Even pro players are using demos and bumps to score goals and win games. And you won't hear one of them call out another for being cheap or unskilled. And do people appreciate good demo plays? Well, let's just listen.
Back and forth right now in the ball control game. Rizzo gonna look to see if he can get Gimmick. Just goes for the demolition. What a brilliant play from Rizzo. He says, I don't need to touch the ball. I just need there to not be a goalie.
This kill shot.
Oh my goodness. Utter brilliance. I am so happy right now. Just beaming with a smile. That was so cool. What a play from Rizzo.
In the end, this video is not trying to tell you that you have to start bumping and demoing just to be a competitive or even a good player.
And we definitely don't want to encourage that demo guy playstyle, right, Khan?
Well, I don't. Not so sure about you. But players do need to accept that demolitions will continue to be part of both casual and competitive Rocket League.
So think about it this way. I can't hit a ceiling shot to save my life. Wouldn't even know where to start.
I think you start on the ceiling, Sledge.
But I still understand the game mechanic. This at least allows me to prepare and counter ceiling shots when they're used against me. I know when they drop off the roof, they have an unlimited dodge timer, and I base my challenge on this knowledge. Now, a well done ceiling shot is gonna beat you. It would be useless for me to rage or get overly hurt when that happens. This is someone using a game mechanic against me. And think about it, unlike demolitions, ceiling shots are not a specific game mechanic that was intended by the developers. They only became possible due to a change made during the Rocket Labs update of February 2016.
I did not know that. Demolitions aren't going anywhere, so educate yourself. Remember, it's easier to dodge a demo than get one. And most times, a demo can be blamed on your lack of awareness or reaction time. Demolition avoidance is just another skill that needs to be mastered. Now maybe this video just reinforced things you already know, but we all have that one friend that could probably use a little mental adjustment like this. Just remind them that they don't have to appreciate demos for the skill and usefulness. No one likes being beaten, no matter how it happens. Even Sledge doesn't like being demoed. But at the very least, a player needs to be mentally and physically prepared to counter them in games. Or even better, learn to use them yourself. That's why Rocket Sledge proudly has the only demolition tutorial series on YouTube. So take the opportunity to learn from one of the best as he shows you how to get consistent demos and explains the right time to go for them. And don't forget to use your anger and keep blowing people up. Stay salty, my friends.